All right, guys. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at the highest quality of Gacha 2025 Arknights Endfield. Now, I never played the first Ark. Also, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you need. Don't forget to share the video.
Arknights is a tower defense gacha game released in 2019, renowned for its strategy, top-tier.
Never played it because of how it plays. Like, I don't like chibi characters, so I just never played it.
Art, amazing music, and helping spawn the evil Voldemort. I also never played it, but we're here to talk about the brand new game Arknights Endfield that's currently in beta and I've played a bunch of. Initially, the game had previous betas with not really great reception, but this recent one had huge redesigns of core gameplay mechanics with a lot of new things to talk about and possibly one of the most unique gacha games ever made, to the point that it doesn't really have any real competition in the space. There also appears to be a ton of confusion around the gameplay.
Who is that? Okay.
And the gacha systems. So I really want to go over everything and why this game has potential to be one of the best gacha games of the modern era, possibly even breaking outside of the genre. And as always, if you enjoy this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be making more videos like this one, or go to twitch.tv/genocide. Many will look at Arknights.
Go to twitch.tv/gbs_Playz. So yeah.
It's Endfield and either think of Genshin Impact or Satisfactory. But in reality, while having many elements of the two, it feels much closer to an older style JRPG like a Tales game or Xenoblade. Also,
Now, I have played Tales games before. That's the thing. Some of them.
this game is way less forgiving than most in combat, and building doesn't hold your hand all the time, which is a welcome change among all these gachas that treat you like you're on life support. It feels as though it's a game first and a gacha second, so let's talk about multiple.
I know I'm pausing a lot. I'm sorry about that. Like, it's the first minute, but I do want to state, yes, a lot of gacha games do hold your hand. It gets on my nerves. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I just skip through any tutorial and I just figure it out later. It's really not that hard. Like, you click that button to go there, you click that button to go there. They're like, oh, make sure you click this and then do this. And I know how to level up a character, okay? But, you know, it's whatever.
Aspects of the game and what it does right and wrong. Also, I can't really rate the story all that well, other than the start was very good until you meet this guy named Albert or Andre or something, who turned the pace into mud and caused me to skip everything past that because I just wanted to play the game. Let's start with the visuals. These completely blow every other gacha game away. I'm not really sure what else to say. I never played base Arknights before, but even with its incredible art and music, its in-game models always kind of rub me the wrong way. Personally, visuals are not everything in a game, but these elevate the
It's a lot to me because that's what I'm looking at 90% of the time anyway. So
game far above the casual gacha slop to look like a real AAA game. Look at your favorite gacha. Now look at me. The background visuals, characters, and UI are all insanely good looking and polished. The world is crazy to look at, and we barely had any options to even customize during the beta. The characters look amazing, and you can even see the detail on all of their clothing and more. Also, Gilberta is one of the most adorable characters I've ever seen, and if you don't agree with me now, you will. Every character has a lot of movement and personality.
they got a panda in there. What is this, Tekken 8?
And even in the menu, the characters have tons of motion. Apparently we're the only human and everyone else is part animal, making me feel like I'm at a furry convention or something, but their designs are actually really good. However, some of the visual effects also go a bit crazy and cover too much of the screen sometimes during combat, becoming hard to see even if they are great, and the bass boost on explosions sends my headphones into orbit. Next, let's talk about the combat. I'm gonna be honest, if you came here looking for Devil May Cry combat or something, you're gonna be disappointed. The game's combat feels like it's from the early 2000s. Way before anyone watching this was born, but in a good way. The game uses an action combat system with all 4 of your characters fighting together, so you don't feel lonely playing a gacha in your dark, cold room. You can freely swap between characters at any time, and everyone shares skill points to use abilities. When you attack, you feel slow and stuck in.
They share skill points to use ability. You get 3. That's what it looks like. I don't know, man. I don't know, because Zenless switched that up. They were like, yeah, everybody get their own art now. We can keep doing this game.
Place, and also aren't able to change your attack direction, which I feel they could probably smoothen out. However, on the flip side, enemies also aren't fast and have very telegraphed attacks. This causes you to have to make choices of when to attack and position right, and your dodge also can save you, but it's one of the most unforgiving dodges I've ever used in a game with very few iframes, and people are definitely gonna complain. Endfield also has an elemental reaction system, which is neat, but more importantly, a combo system with every character having different activation conditions. This makes team building really cool, as future characters can enable team comps with different elements and combo pieces. However, it feels like you never have enough skill points or ults when you want them, as the regen is insanely slow without specific generators. The most
All right, see, this is how they fix that, right? This is how they fix that. They either make it so that each character has their own skill points, which is probably going to be 3 or 2, whatever, right? Or the other thing that they could do, which is even easier, just make the regen way faster. It's about all these two things they could do. I think that every character should have their own skill points. I hate when characters have to share skill points. Like, yes, it makes you think, but then it also is like, well, I can't use this now because I gotta save this for later to use this, which means I gotta figure out a way to get through this part so I can use my alt. And it's like, bro, like, why I gotta do it? That's what you gotta do with them. It's like, who should I do alt for first? And then 9% of the time, like 2 characters out of the 3 of the characters that's on your team wasn't using their alt because you only use it on one.
The most interesting part of the combat, by far, was the bosses. Even the first boss had more mechanics than the average gacha mid-game boss, with the second and third really impressing me when you fight the higher levels of them, making it feel like an actual boss fight made by someone who enjoys games, rather than a boardroom of ugly bastards who only want your wallet and know nothing about gameplay. Let's talk about the building. You'll either love it or you'll hate it. It can take some time to learn.
I'm probably gonna love it. I like power world building. I like building stuff in games. I'm gonna be honest, so I'll probably love it anyway.
But once you get into it, you'll realize you lost 100 hours of time perfecting your base and making it efficient. Ignoring food, sleep, the only thing that matters is the machine.
I'm gonna be honest, guys, I may stream that because I'm gonna be real. Like I said, when I get in the building in the games, I get into heavy because I want to make sure that is so optimized that I don't gotta touch it ever again in my life. That's how I just played it. Like games when it comes to building, I don't want to touch it, so I play it till I don't have to touch it anymore.
I don't know why, but tutorials for building are actually found around the map with these tube men waving around above them. Yes, you have to find the tutorials, which is kind of odd. However, they also give you skill points to unlock the new tech. The base construction relates to everything in the game, because exploration leads to resources, gearing is from crafting those resources, crafting leads to raising the area level for more drops, for more resources, and it goes on and on. It's so integral, they need to add blueprints either player-made or in-game to save players, or some people are going to get filtered so insanely hard. Gacha players are barely literate, or even know what the word means, so visual marks for where to build would help immensely with unoptimal but still functional build paths just to get basic things up and running for most players. As a side note, my brain is dented and some puzzles took me forever, which I actually enjoyed having to learn.
And we don't look at the answers. Because where the hell's the fun in that, bud?
An offshoot of all this building is the gearing, which you actually just make off of farmed materials rather than farming enemies. The more you progress your base, the better gear you make, and none of them have random substats. You craft, and that's it. But you can't escape that easily. They do have essences that drop off enemies while exploring, and these are the real grind with random affixes. However, you can combine them, and you also only need 1 per character, so we'll see how that pans out. Speaking of exploration, players can't climb, they can't jump twice, and they don't have a glider. This is not Genshin, it isn't Wuthering Waves. I see so many players comparing them, but this game doesn't feel anything like
Everything is going to be compared to those 2 games. Let's be real. Like, it's going to be compared to them 2 games for a long time until a new big one come out, which is hopefully, what is it, Anata? I hope Anata is so good. Why isn't it out yet?
It's much more grounded. It's like if you compared Skyrim to World of Warcraft just because both have open world and combat. Exploration in the game definitely feels unique for a gacha and feels more like a single player standard JRPG running around with your party and discovering puzzles and enemies. But more importantly, it lets you do something very interesting. Destroy the environment with giant towers shaping the entire world to your very own sweatshop. For some reason, electrical towers only have 80 meters of cable, which as an American, I don't even understand what that means, but you have to spam them everywhere. And by the time you set up a few zip lines, at least 50 species are extinct and the planet's 5 degrees warmer. However, it's really cool to actually change the landscape and exciting every time you find new patches of minerals to mine and connect.
I think that's probably going to be one of the things that people kind of give up on is the zipping around thing, because you got to build it, but not build it, but you got to go and connect these things to be able to zip through this in the first place. So most people probably just going to either say whatever to that, or they're just going to be like, I'm going to just do it now and then explore the world and the story and all that later. Unless they lock you off, like how Genshin locks you off from parts until you complete a certain part, and then it unlocks that part of the map. And you have part where we can't go here yet. You must turn back.
The electricity and later even use water tubing. This solves one of the biggest issues I have with exploration in these games. While normally you just explore for gacha currency and nothing else, in this game there are actual real rewards, something tangible you want to look for and obtain, rare resources, which leads to more gameplay of adding it to the factory line. You aren't ignoring the world and gathering the money, you're directly interacting with it and completely obliterating every semblance of
By the way, guys, we so close to 1.3. Hit that subscribe button. It ain't that hard. It's free. I don't know why you don't just do it. You can even have the notifications off for all I care. Just hit the button.
Natural beauty as you build 100 zip lines so you never need to walk again. Isn't that nice? Recommendation, add an endgame grind from bosses for bike materials to craft and let us ride around in a motorcycle. It'd be great. Now let's talk about the hotly debated topic of
Wait, we can't ride on. No way. There's no way they don't have it. There's no way they're not gonna have it where you can't ride on a motorcycle. Where's he? Where's he day one?
the gacha system. In my opinion, everyone who's saying it's bad has not played the game and is clueless. It's much better than people are led to believe. Let me explain why. It's a 0.8% 6-star pull rate and has a 50-50 system, which sounds like total trash at first to me. The pity is 80 with a soft pity around 65, I believe. After losing pity, at 120 pulls total on the banner, you automatically get the 6-star. Pity does carry over. However, once the 50-50 is lost, the progress towards the 120 pity is not. This caused a ton of controversy.
See, yeah, that's I'm like 90% positive from what I read from Gun Girl. I mean, not Gun Girl. Girls Frontline. That is the same exact way that theirs work. And I'm gonna be honest, like, long as they give out enough free like pulls, like Girls Frontline does, they'd be all right. Like, if they give barely any pulls and then they have a system like that, then obviously people gonna be mad. They're like, what the heck, bro? But if they don't do that, right, and they actually give out a good amount of pulls while also having a system like that, then be good. Because let's be real, most people, what they're going to do is, or at least what I'm going to do is, I'm going to save up till the 160 just in case I lose a 50-50, right? So I'm going to save up the 160, then I'm going to spend that all on one character that I want, and if I get it within the 80, let's go. If I don't get it within the 80, I know that I'm going to get it anyway, so I'm straight. But that's how I play games like that, because I'm not about to spend 80. It goes towards that banner, and then when a new banner comes out, it disappears completely. And then now I gotta spend 100, another 80, or 280s, which is 160, which means I just spent about 240 for a character that I could have just spent 160. Like, you gotta play these games smart, not hard.
But I'll be honest, don't pull when you aren't ready to go all in. That's
See, he said the same thing. I didn't even watch this video. This is my first time watching it. Like, it's pretty common sense. Like, if you plan a game with a system like that, just save your currency until you have enough to be able to pull for the character that you want. You just can't pull on every banner anymore. That's all it is.
the point of the pity. Everyone's become pretty Genshin pilled and pulls non-stop on every banner, but most gachas don't have the pity carryover.
Hey, there you go, the greatest game ever. I finally got Red Hood and Dorothy, so I got all the pilgrims in the game now. It took so long.
And while it sucks, people need to have some self-control in this game. People need to use the pity to their advantage. And while you may disagree, the pull income seems really good to offset this. Every month from only the daily and weeklies, gained currency you get is about 40 pulls, which is huge. No stories, side quests, or events included. Also, did I mention the banner characters so far go to the standard banner after their run ends? Yeah, any of this could change on release, but
oh, so they got the same thing as Nikkei. Because, like, Nikkei does the same thing. The only thing that doesn't move over in Nikkei is literally just obviously the characters that is free for the collab, because collab characters go away. And also the, like, special event characters, which is like the summer event, winter event, they disappear until next summer run event. But every other character on that banner, you can just pick up from the standard, which I like that, because then it gives you a chance to actually, and it gives you a reason to actually pull on the standard banner, because it's like, bro, I don't want to pull on the standard banner to get another D loot. I already got 7 of them. Like, what's my point? And I got 8 of them because I really hate getting so sad, bro. Like they could just give me good luck. Like, I'm the only one that still play that game.
But as it is, seems pretty good. Now as for the weapon banner, it's crazy. Different currency than character pulls, 40 pulls per 6.
They doing that woo-wah stuff. Oh my gosh. I hate any game. I mean, not I hate any game, but I hate any gacha system where there's 2 different currencies, because now you got to grind twice as hard for twice more currencies. Or when you're going to go buy stuff, you got to be like, oh, I'm buying this, but I can't spend it all on one currency. I got to do 1, 2 like that. And it's dumb. I think it's dumb. I don't get why people do this in the first place. I don't get why games do this. I don't get why people let Wuwa do it in the first place. But, you know, I'm just one person. I can't help that.
6-star, but it's a 25.75 of the one you want. You get currency from pulling the character banner, but also from the weekly end game, giving you about 20 pulls a week automatically, which sounds like a lot. 2 6-star weapons a month for free, and also having a 4% pull rate for a 6-star. Honestly, players are going to be flooded with weapons. Moving past the gacha, let's talk.
Nah, I just don't like any gacha system where it comes to you gotta sit there and you have two different things that you gotta pay for. I just don't like it. I like it all at once because then you could just go YOLO or nothing. But that's just me. That's just me personally.
Talk about the end game. Something gachas don't like to have. After all the building of characters, the building of weapons, the building of buildings, you finally have a strong setup and roster. Now what? Honestly, the game's really lacking in this. In a classic JRPG, you would have the final boss and finish the game, maybe go to New Game Plus, but this is a live service game. Currently, they only have a roguelike mode that, while is fun, isn't going to keep your interest for a super long time. It can feel a bit tedious, however the boss fights are fun and interactive. I find this a bit disappointing and hope they expand upon this before release. Now,
I'm gonna be honest when it comes to that. I don't really care because my thing is when Gacha games release, they don't even know they're gonna be up for like 1 month or maybe 1 year or maybe 8 years. They probably plan to be up for as long as they can, right? But at the end of the day, I like when the game first come out, I don't really expect them to have an an end game scenario in the first place because they just came out. Like maybe 2-3 point patches later. Maybe then okay that makes sense, or maybe like a couple of point patches like a point 1, point 5. Maybe then all right, I understand, right? Like adding in something because the game been out for at least about like a month or 2-3. It looks like it's doing good. Just add something for endgame, right? But at the beginning when they first release, I don't expect them because they just want to get people in the door so that way they can get stuck and then start spending money. That's about it.
now, one thing I want to address is when you combine all the facets of not needing to farm gear, having your factory work while offline, having a stamina system that takes a day and a half to fill, having a fairly good gacha system allowing you to build around the world to make a permanent mark, top tier graphics, and not having everything locked behind stamina, it starts to sound like a real game that isn't held back by the
I'm sorry, I'm pausing again. I know I paused a lot in this video, my bad, but I kind of find it funny that Gacha games run better than regular games now. And that's insane.
usual fear of missing out and traps gacha games do to force your full attention non-stop. We couldn't pay money in the beta, but the game felt very well thought out with a clear vision of what they wanted, and I hope they keep it that way. Overall, the game is incredibly strong in many areas, but does have some issues that hopefully iron out before release, and I believe they have time because no other gacha on the horizon really competes with this game because it strays completely from the normal formula and will attract a different audience. I hope you enjoyed this video.
What do you mean no other Gacha game? What we got what Anita? That is coming out soon. I mean they got building in that too. I think maybe it's been a minute since they released anything.
Thanks a bunch for watching, subscribe to the channel for more, and I hope to see you next time.
That was a good video. I ain't gonna lie, that was a pretty good video. Oh look, 2.1. That's what it is, 2.1. I was trying to figure out what woo we was on. I was going to stream, but then I saw this video and I kind of wanted to make a reaction to it. But anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and you don't forget to share the video. Like is free, like the heck. Anyway, subscribe is free. But other than all that, I'm about to get up out of here. Also, I am going to be streaming that either today when this video come out, or maybe in a couple of days. I can't stream it during like a certain couple of days in general because yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.